The Latch Cube is an incredibly difficult puzzle released way back in 2010, just as I was getting into cubing. I vividly remember watching Red KB's unboxing video, realizing just how tricky of a 3x3 mod it was, and thinking, I have to get one of those for myself. Well, better late than never, because it is now 13 years later, and I have finally got my hands on one. So why don't you say we open it up and see if it really is as impossible as my 8-year-old brain thought it was. Now the concept is pretty simple. Each edge piece has an arrow on it, and those arrows define which direction each side is allowed to turn. So for example, the yellow side is only allowed to turn counterclockwise, like this. Now there are 3 sides that can only turn counterclockwise. Those are indicated by the black arrows, and then the other 3 sides can only turn clockwise. So as you can see, these ones now move in this direction. Now you might be thinking, no big deal. If I want to turn the red side counterclockwise, I'll just turn it clockwise 3 times, and that'll effectively accomplish the same thing. Well, yes, until you run into a situation like this. You have 2 arrows facing the opposite direction, and then guess what? That side doesn't turn at all. So you can easily imagine, let's say you're doing a 3x3 algorithm, U prime, R, F, but then you just can't do that F move. You're stuck. That algorithm is literally impossible, and you'll have to undo it and start over. So that's what makes the Latch Cube so tricky. But you know, I've been dying to try this cube out for literally the majority of my life, so why don't you say we scramble it up and try and solve it? I have a feeling even the scramble is going to be a little bit tricky because we're already running into some cases where we can't turn sides that we want to. We can even run into some fun cases like this where a side is allowed to turn either direction because there's no arrows on it. Now you may have noticed that I'm turning it very carefully because again this cube was released in 2010, back when Rubik's Cube turning was not quite up to today's standards, plus the latching mechanism inside of the centers does make it turn quite a bit slower, so don't expect to be speed solving on it. Though speaking of the latching mechanism, let me show you how it works real quick. If we go ahead and pop off a center cap here and take a look at this edge for example, since it has an arrow facing in this direction, that corresponds to a little latch here that only allows the piece to move in that direction. As you can see, if we try and move it the other direction, it just runs up against a wall, whereas in this direction, it slides right on through. Whereas on a side like this, with 2 different color arrows, you can see that the latch on this piece prevents it from turning this way, whereas the latch on this piece would prevent it from turning this way. On the other hand, a side like this with no arrows at all can turn in either direction because none of these edges have latches sticking down at all. Anyway, just a fun little diversion. I've always wondered how this mechanism works, and I think that it is very clever. But without further ado, let's begin the solve. So I guess we start with a white cross, so we can get an edge piece in like that. No, we can't get that edge piece in. Okay, how about this green edge piece? We can turn it like this in order to get it onto a side where it's able to turn up to here next to the red center. We accidentally got the corner in too, which might be useful. So now if we want to align these pieces to their centers, looks like we're going to do an accidental X cross. We have a black arrow right here, which means we need to get rid of this white arrow right here, which we can do pretty easily. And now we can get it just like that. There we go. Nice little corner section. Okay, I'm already running into some issues. I want to preserve what I have right here, but it turns out the other 3 sides of the cube are all locked up, so we're going to have to mess up something to fix that. So what if we turn this side until it lets us turn this side? And then does that help us at all? Yes, it does, because that somehow freed up this side, which means we can now get this blue edge in kind of like this, and then no, we can't quite insert it. So scratch that. Can we get the yellow edge in instead? We can do this to get it around to here, and then yeah, we got another edge piece. You know what? Let's just give up on the blue one for now and try and work on this F2L pair. So the corner we need is right there, and the edge is right here. So we can move it out of the slot like this, around this way, match it up with the edge, and then it's kind of stuck again. But what if we move this back into position? Okay, now we can move it up onto this layer, and then hopefully we can insert it like this, and yep, like this. And there we go. We got our second. Oh, no, we don't. Okay, scratch that. It looks like we got this blue edge in here now. So is there any way we can work on this F2L pair? Normally I do this just using keyhole. So I'd kind of do this and then try and insert this corner like this. This is way too easy. I actually did it. Okay, I thought that was going to be a lot harder. So that was a nice surprise. Let's see how our other F2L pair is doing. And the answer is not so well. Can we at least get this into the right position? Okay, we have our cross, finally. So is there any creative way of inserting this F2L pair without actually turning the U side? What if we do like this, and then this? Nope, that's not right. Okay, I managed to move around this other F2L pair a little bit, so let's see if we can pair this one up. Like this, turn that 3 times. Okay, that's still turnable. Okay, we got another F2L pair. The question is, can we insert it? How about a sledgehammer? No. What if we do like this? That can't turn. That also can't turn. Okay, there's no way to insert it. Oh, but of course, it's no problem if I want to insert it into the wrong slot. So now I got my F2L complete, except these two are just flipped. So now let's try taking the first one out again, and then maybe we can get it into the correct spot. Okay, that was the most moves I've ever done to do a sledgehammer, but I actually got that third F2L pair in. Can we get the last one in now? No, we can't. What if we move it back to here and then try and insert? Nope, that still doesn't work. What if we try and do a sledgehammer again? So we turn it like this, turn this one like that. Nope, it's locked up again. You know, I'm cutting out a lot of failed attempts here, but you guys do not understand just how frustrating this is. Like 80% of everything that I try just totally fails. Okay, new terrible strategy. Just mess up those two sides as much as possible and then start them over again. Okay, I rebuilt one of the F2L pairs, but we still have to get this cross edge in. Is that gonna be possible? We just do that. And that, and it is possible. Okay, just one more pair left. Now I don't see any good options for that last pair, so what if we just try and insert like just the edge or something? Like that. That's the wrong direction, but who really cares? Now we can move the corner piece on top of it like that, and then maybe we can insert it from here. So we take it out. Okay, we can't do it that way. How about like this? Oh, is this really it? Are we gonna do it? Here we go, and F2L is complete! Oh my gosh! The cross and the first two F2L pairs were really easy, but then I feel like I tried inserting things like 20 times to get the last two. But let's not get too excited because we still have to do the last layer. I've already tried the normal OLL algorithm, the inverse of the normal OLL, the normal beginner's method, and that inverse. None of those worked at all. So maybe we just start going down the list of OLLs that have an L shape like this and try them all? I'll let you know if it works. Well, I just found one that worked great until the second to last move, then it got stuck. Luckily, I was able to reinsert everything pretty easily, but now it looks like we have a different OLL case. So we can try the normal algorithm on this one, and if that doesn't work, we actually have 4 different orientations that we can try it in because this upper layer can now move. Well, I just tried all 4 of those and the 4 inverses. None of them worked. One of them got really close though. So now we can maybe try and move on to just beginner's method, doing the algorithm like this. Oh my gosh, is this it? I think we might have finally got the cross on top. There we go. I got a little bit lost during that algorithm, but somehow it ended up working out. Okay, I don't want to jinx myself here, but I think it might start to get a little bit easier now. Since we have so many colors mashed up, we're always going to have the same color arrows on each side. Let's see if that holds true by continuing on with the beginner's method by doing a soon algorithm here. So, nope, that's not going to work. Let's try and maybe do the inverse of the soon algorithm over on the other side here, like this. Nope, that's also not going to work. Luckily though, we still have some other options because we can break these pieces up from their centers and then try doing soon like right here, for example. That's also not going to work though. Oh my gosh, I didn't think that was actually going to work, but I did like a U3 and then a lefty soon, and that got all of our edges into place. So it seems like a ridiculous strategy, but just trying out every single algorithm that could possibly do what you want actually seems to be working for me. Now the beginner's method has been working out pretty well for us in the last layer so far. So let's try and do Niklaus, which is the algorithm for swapping around corner pieces. It's not going to work that direction. Oh my gosh, again, I didn't think that was going to work, but just doing a few U's as setup moves, and I think we actually got it. And we also got lucky there. We got all the corners into the right spots. So now all that's left is to rotate them, which could be really easy or really awful. So let's just go ahead and try it. So let's start with an R prime. Okay, remarkably our first 2 repetitions worked just fine. So we got our first corner piece oriented there. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. Okay, the second 2 repetitions also worked fine. So I think we're home free now, as long as the cube doesn't decide to troll us at the last minute. So we just had to do R prime, U prime. Wait a minute, what the heck? Okay, that's a big problem, but you know what? Let's stay calm and just finish off the algorithm on a different corner piece so we don't lose our progress here. Okay, this is fine. The algorithm worked in 2 different places before, so I think we can get it to work in 2 different places again. I think the problem with this corner piece in particular was when we moved it up to here, we had a black arrow and a white arrow. So all we have to do now is try that again, but on a side that has black arrows on it. So here we go. R prime, U prime. Oh my gosh. Maybe we have to try it in this orientation instead. So U prime and then R. Nope, that's not going to work either. Okay, let's think outside the box a little bit. What if instead of these corners being rotated on the black side, we pretend that they're actually rotated on the green side? So let's try doing it like this. Okay, we got the first one rotated. That's looking pretty promising. Let's see if we can do the other one like this. And then we just have to do R, then U, then R prime, then U prime, and then R, and then whatever that move is, and we've solved it. Oh my gosh, finally! I don't know how long this video is now, but that took a solid 2 hours to figure out how to solve. That was easily one of the most frustrating, but also rewarding puzzles that I've solved in a long time. It's like, I feel like I know everything that I could possibly need to know from knowing how to solve a 3x3, but you just have to do so much trial and error and use everything in such creative ways. It kind of reminds me of FMC in that way. And let's just say that it definitely lived up to my expectations for how difficult I thought it would be as a kid, Really, I'm just happy that I was even able to solve it. Rarely when I finish a difficult puzzle do I just want to scramble it up and try it again, but I think I actually do want to do that right now. So you know what? Let's finish off the video by scrambling it up and seeing how long it takes to solve a second time. You can tune out here if you want, or stick around to see what time I get, but I hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time.